Welcome back to Kenton and Habiba. My name is Habiba if you're joining us for the first time. So as you can see from this channel, I do a lot of cooking. I have a large family and I love to cook in the kitchen along with a lot of other things I like to do. But anyway, I get a lot of questions about how we make stewed chicken or brown chicken, and a lot of my influences come from my African background, but definitely my Caribbean background. Most of my formative years have been spent with Jamaican grandparents. So this is how I learned to make stewed chicken or brown chicken. So let's go into the kitchen and let me show you what I do. First of all, you're going to need some chicken, of course. Wash your chicken first really well. We usually use vinegar, some apple cider vinegar or lemon, fresh lemon. You squeeze that over your cleaned or washed chicken, chop it up, and then we get started. I got some crushed garlic. I'm just going to put that on the chicken. We're going to season the chicken. Going to use some seasoned salt. This is actually, just all-purpose seasoning. A lot of it because I don't use just regular salt at all. I'm trying to watch our blood pressure here. Gonna also add some cayenne pepper. And Kareem, you know what? We didn't cut any ataragu or Scotch bonnet. I'm also adding a little bit of curry powder. This is not curry chicken, but I like a little bit of curry powder when I'm making stewed chicken. So all of the meat's going to get seasoned, and then you can let it sit overnight in the fridge. Or if you don't have time, you can just season it before. This was some garlic powder and some paprika. You know, I am not afraid to use my spice. Some thyme, fresh thyme, and some garam masala. This is, you know, gives it a little bit of Indian flavor to it. I'm also going to add a diced onion, and we're going to mix that all up. So like I said, once you seasoned your chicken, ideally you should let it sit overnight. But if you don't have time, then you can certainly just season it and then put it to start cooking. So we're going to brown the chicken. Brown it and then let it cook with a little bit of your other vegetables and tomato sauce. I use tomato sauce and a little bit of ketchup once the chicken is browned. So here's my hot pan. I'm just putting a few tablespoons of oil, your favorite oil, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add my chicken, and I'm going to add the chicken without the onions, because you don't want the onions to burn. You just want to brown the chicken. So this is not, you're not deep frying it at all, because there's very little oil in this pan. Just enough to give the chicken color and to seal in the flavor. Alright, while I'm browning my chicken, I have some peppers and onions, and you can use green peppers, red peppers. I also have my Scotch bonnet, which you can see frosted over because I keep a whole bunch in the freezer. Now, if you don't like a lot of pepper, don't cut it. But we like a little bit of pepper. And I warn you that the pepper is in the seeds. And this stuff can be deadly if you're not accustomed to it. But I really like the flavor it gives, and also I don't mind the pepper. So I'm adding that in. Finally dice it, because there's nothing worse than a big chunk of hot habanero peppers or Scotch bonnets. Alright, I'm also going to add some ginger, which is very good when you have garlic. Just adds a nice flavor to it. And gonna skin the garlic and then dice it. I mean, skin the ginger and then add it with the garlic and all the other vegetables. So this is the ginger again, which adds a very aromatic flavor, and it's just really good for you. And ginger goes very well with garlic. So if you have that, definitely add it. Alright, I was about to get my Jamaican card revoked. I forgot to put in some allspice. We always put allspice, or my grandmother calls it pimento. And you can put them in whole, you know, about 3 or 4, or you can crush it. I like to crush it because the kids don't like to have the big whole pimento on their plate, so you can crush it. Or again, whole, and then pick them out before you serve it. So I'm just going to crush a few and then sprinkle it in the pot. This definitely elevates the flavor. Alrighty. So now that the chicken is brown, I'm going to go ahead and put my onions and pepper and ginger and garlic. And remember those onions that we used to season the chicken? We're also going to add that back into it. I also have some thyme in there. Okay, so you can slightly saute your vegetables just to get them a little bit caramelized. Okay, and then is optional, but I usually add about half a cup of spaghetti sauce. So this is actually spaghetti sauce, so you can use canned tomato if you have some, or any kind of blended tomatoes you can add. I also have about 2 tablespoons of ketchup, and I'm just going to add that to it. Also going to add about half a cup of hot water. And then we're just going to cover this and let it simmer. I'm just mixing it before I will cover it and let it simmer down into a stew, because we want to make sure that the chicken is well cooked. We don't like raw or half cooked chicken, not at all. So you're going to let this simmer for, I would say at least, in my case, I usually do it for at least half an hour after it's at this point. Also adding a little bit of soy sauce, not too much. So I'm just going to cover it and let it simmer on medium for, like I said, about half an hour to 40 minutes until the chicken is very tender. While you're cooking your meat, this is a good time to think about what vegetables you're going to cook or to serve it with. We like broccoli. Broccoli's easy and very quick, so this is a nice head of broccoli. It's very firm, very dense, and very dark green. So I love broccoli, and sometimes to liven things up, we'll add broccoli with shredded cabbage. So here's a big thing of cabbage. Gonna shred that up and steam it for about a minute, and yeah, don't overcook it. You kill all the vitamins, and then you don't really get any fiber or enough fiber. So very sharp knife is careful. Alright, so I cut it from the base, not from the top or the crowns. You can make a good coleslaw with shredded cabbage if it's finely shredded with carrots. make a nice, cool, crunchy coleslaw. But this is going to be steamed. Cabbage and broccoli, and I'm just putting some butter. And I overdid the cabbage a little bit. No problem though. Still gonna be good. Cabbage and broccoli. Alright, now you get to see the star of the show, the chicken. Our stewed chicken. Alright, so here is our stewed chicken. And basically this is how I make my standard brown stew, so for all of those who wanted to know. And you can eat this with rice, with potatoes, with anything you want. And it should be very tasty, and the meat is nice and soft. So, who's ready to eat? Who's ready to eat?
To go in Jamaica, reggae music on the streets in Jamaica.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was easy enough to follow. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I will try to bring you a lot more videos, and of course I'll be back with a vlog coming soon. And yes, thank you, we made it to 1K, so I can't wait to see how far this channel goes. God bless.